Safety to explore is the safety to try new things, to leave your comfort zone and walk into the unknown. It's also the feeling that it's okay to change, to be changed and to go through change. Imagine your child is on a paddleboard, raft or canoe ride going down a creek or swift river. You want them to be safe, but you also know that this creek has a lot of twists and turns. The path can be terrifying and they may feel out of control at times, but it can also be exhilarating fun and a great learning adventure. How can you as a parent help your child explore and have this adventure, but feel safe at the same time? You can provide opportunities to explore. For instance, having your child help you plan what's for dinner or help making the family dinner. Plan a family vacation or adventure, or let them wear whatever clothes they want, as long as they meet your family rules. Who they are is what they end up finding along the way of exploring. How cool is that? Your child feels safe to explore before, during, and even after the river run adventure is over. But what if the experience didn't turn out so great or get the results they were hoping for? Maybe they have bumps and bruises or even got lost along the way, so to speak. The goal is that they feel safe to try again, or maybe have a completely new adventure in a different direction or on a different creek. The point is, safe to explore really doesn't have an ending spot. It is the continual growth and learning from life's experiences. Just to be clear, safe to explore does have its limitations. If your child is hurting themselves, hurting others, or being hurt by others, it is an adult's responsibility to step up and help that child out of the water, so to speak, and help them navigate those rough currents of water. I want to be clear. I want to caution us against making unfair judgments of parents. Parents must not hold themselves hostage when a child leaves the safety of the raft, breaks family rules, and makes decisions that are difficult to understand. Some of the best parents I have worked with still have children who use their agency and make choices contrary to what has been taught in the home. And this can be very hard on a parent's heart. So I think we can all agree to practice kindness, knowing that most parents are doing the best that they can. A more lighthearted example of safe to explore involves my own son, again used with permission. Chris was always large of stature. He was taller than any of the kids in his grade, and he was very athletic. He played basketball and football, and in my eyes, he was the star. My husband also coached his team for many years. We were very invested. I knew that he was going to be the next football star at BYU, or maybe the first pick in the NFL draft, right? All parents have these aspirations for their kids. But I remember this phone call well. He was in the 10th grade and had left the football locker room and went and sat in the parking lot in the middle of practice. And he called me, says, "Mom, I'm quitting football." Oh, I did what any parent would do. I tried to talk him out of it. And I said, "What about all these years you've invested in this? What about your teammates? They'll be so disappointed in you." And then I checked myself and I realized what I really feared, that I lost my glory time of cheering in the stands for my son. And I had to realize my story wasn't about myself. His story is about him. He told me he had had anxiety for years, and he had tried to get the courage to tell us that he wanted to be part of the theater program and join the drama department at Lehigh High School. I knew my husband was going to be ticked, but I underestimated my spouse because we decided together to support our child in Safe to Explore. Our disappointment was short-lived when I saw him in one of the school plays called Merry Wives of Windsor, and he played Falstaff. He was hilarious, he was having fun, and he felt happy and himself. I was grateful that he felt safe to explore and that I could let go of my expectations. When I talked to Chris recently about this story, he texted back and said, "Thanks, Mom. I love you and Dad so much for supporting me with my decisions." There are tools and things that we can say to understand where a child is coming from. For instance, there are signs that a child does not feel safe to explore. If a child isn't feeling safe to explore, they might say things like, "Don't tell my mom and dad, they'd kill me." They may constantly agree with whatever you say and often don't feel well, and opt out of family or extracurricular activities. You know your child. Watch for a change in behavior, maybe becoming reclusive, or anything else that seems off. This doesn't mean they don't feel safe with you necessarily, but it might be a sign that they feel unsafe about the world around them. Check with them often and extend your love to offer to help. Let's face it, words matter. Some things we say to a child not only can make them feel scared, but like they can't tell you when they want to change course. Avoid words and comments like, "No child of mine is ever going to." "Winners never quit." "You'll change your mind. It's just a phase." These kinds of comments can make a child feel like they're not in control of their own raft, or that they can't be honest with the adults where they've gone and where they're going in their journey down the river. How exactly do we help a child feel safe to explore? First, remember that most detours often don't matter in the long run. Picture your child, everything you love about them. Remember that one choice, or even a series of choices, likely isn't going to define their personality, their lovability, nor their future. As they grow older and become more confident and safe to explore on their own, we need to loosen the reins a little bit. If it is safe, meets within family boundaries, is legal, and doesn't have negative long-term consequences, let it go. There are some phrases we can use and ask which will help us understand their view on a situation. Say things such as, "Help me understand where you're coming from." "I'm curious why." "Tell me about." "I'd like to hear your opinion on this. How do you see this?" "My goals and expectations are to," but what do you want to get out of this? We can also use phrases to find shared goals. For this scenario, we're going to pretend you both want to go on a picnic to the park. However, you want to get hamburgers, but they want tacos. Let's see how this goes. So if we can set it up where both hamburgers and tacos happens, will both be happy? I think we both want to go on a picnic. Do you agree with that? I see what you're saying, and I'd like to help you with getting tacos. I do have concerns, though, about driving all over to find those tacos. Can we brainstorm some ways to address those concerns? Do you see how that would help your child find a common goal? And when I proposed this situation to some of my students, you know what they said? "Why don't you just go to a place that offers hamburgers and tacos instead? Duh." You can clarify your intentions with phrases of don't want and do want phrases. Here are some examples. "I don't want to limit your choices. I do want family rules to be respected." "I don't want you to feel like you can't talk to me if you are having sex. I do want to help you understand why sex shouldn't be something casual." "I didn't mean to imply you're dumb, and I'm sorry for that. I did want to express that I was anxious about your future." Validate what they're saying with yes and or no but phrases. Yes, it's important to spend time with friends, and it's also important to take care of family relationships too. Yes, that isn't the easiest class, and it is very important to learn that material. No, I don't think that going to the party is a good idea, but I'm open to ideas for other places you'd like to go instead. Don't be afraid to set boundaries, but you can set boundaries in a way that your child will still feel their opinion, wants, and desires are valued while they are safe to explore. To do this, we make sure they have the tools they need to accomplish their goals. One fun thing I like to do with students is to let them get messy with finger paints. They get to create whatever picture they want as long as they stay on the canvas. But in the end, they know it will be time to wash the paints off their hands, hang up their apron, and get ready to go back to class. They were safe to explore, but also learning responsibility or guidelines of exploring. For example, if we notice a child using profanity, we can momentarily pull them out of the water or momentarily take away the paint and start off by sharing our feelings with them. We do that by saying something like, "Hearing you use those kind of words makes me feel defensive," and then state your trust in them and expectations. "I trust that you're not intending to make others uncomfortable, I also expect our family to use the language in the way that is comfortable and considerate of others and not aggressive. Be sure to use the word and instead of the word but. We can offer a choice to allow them to continue exploring. We can spend some time coming up with some sillier, less offensive expressions, or we can brainstorm some ways of dialing down the profanity on your own. What would you like to do? Give them options and don't just say, don't swear. And also offer them a way to make amends. Something like this. When you swear, a quick sorry and thinking of a different way to say what you're feeling is just fine. This way we get them back into the river with a better idea how to navigate, rather than just leaving them dripping wet on the riverbank. When I was learning to ride a bicycle, the adults would hold onto the back of my seat so I could get my balance. They would run down the street with me as the handles were so wobbly and I was shaking. At some point, they needed to let go of my bike so I could learn to ride on my own. It is important for children to feel safe to explore with and without the adults in their lives. I have worked with thousands of children over 30 years as a teacher, counselor, and mom. Children who feel safe to explore often do better when life throws them a storm or when encountering a raging river. They know they can safely explore who they want to be in life, explore friendships, ideas, beliefs, wear crazy hairstyles, and still be loved, wanted, and accepted by those around them. Whether you are a parent, teacher, or other youth leader, helping children feel safe to explore will change the way they view themselves and the world around them. They will calm down easier, have less stress, and be more engaged in the classroom and at home. Remember, this is their journey. You are a guide, but they are the ones in the boat and determine where they want to go. We just help them with the tools they need to be successful along the way.